What's up? Sorry. Okay, so hi, my name is Yuqi. I'm about to graduate from Penn, and I'll be moving to the Bay Area after graduation. Yay. So I want to use this time to share about how I rediscovered aspects of my faith in college. So before coming to Penn, I went to a boarding school in suburban Boston, where 80% of the students played lacrosse, wore salmon shorts, and had vacation homes in in Martha's Vineyard. And as a short Asian kid from the Midwest who had no idea what Vineyard Vine was, I absolutely didn't fit in. So I could deal with that in two ways. So the first was through a multitude of great friends who were like the freaks and geeks at the school, and whom I shared a lot of common interests with, but maybe not the best morals. And the second was through a weekly Bible study group. And in that 1 or 2 hours per week, I felt like I could escape from the perpetual autumn, midwinter of New England, and I actually felt religious, kind of. Because while my Christian faith was part of my identity at the time, it swirled around in a sea of other obligations that that made it only sort of part of my identity. And only in those weekly meetings could I feel slightly God's presence. And so, nonetheless, these two things allowed me to remain emotionally healthy and sane in boarding school. However, Penn was completely a different beast, because through a myriad of excuses, I neglected any semblance of faith my freshman year. Because at the time, the friendships I built, well, they weren't enough to sustain me, and I struggled academically, and I nearly failed a class. And while my friends found their identity through fraternities and clubs, I was confused about what I wanted out of my time here. So if there was like a metaphorical collegiate ladder of success, I felt like I took one step but missed the whole first rung. And eventually the common ground with a lot of my friends eroded, leaving me aimless and solipsistic. But nevertheless, thankfully this situation led me back to a conversation with God and a big determined push outward where a few M&Ts in the year above me, who I think are here right now, brought me to GCC my sophomore year. But of course not everything worked out immediately, and the worry talk to God went on, but slowly I've rebuilt my faith around attending Sunday service, series of incredibly awkward family groups, and until this year, yeah. And then, and eventually, mostly against my will, FNL. Each year I was gifted with an incredible family group leader who mentored me and challenged me in many ways, all in an effort to strengthen and mold my faith. And even though I was never the most willing person, they challenged me to recenter my life around Christ rather than my own ambitions. This year, I'm so thankful for having such a knowledgeable family group and servants team in Kairos that's so receptive to my uncertainties and doubts as I continue to grow, with the accompanying growing pains of my walk with Christ. So of course, there's also memories that I'll cherish, whether it was accidentally forcing an evacuation of Sansom West when a tray of cookies caught on fire during joint family group my sophomore year, nearly imploding multiple times from overdosing on the great sitar Indian cuisine, buying Hello Kitty ice cream cakes from Frogro, or pulling a double all-nighter with my roommate, who I think is pulling an all-nighter right now, to finish the worst programming assignment we've ever done. And with the benefit of hindsight, I've come to realize how much God has worked in my life and how his love has manifested to the people and situations I've encountered, maybe not always rosy and cheery, at GCC and in college. So I'm not very good with the whole Bible verse thing. I could Google for one, but I didn't do that. So instead I have a quote from civil rights activist, writer, and minister Will Campbell, who summarizes my time here the best. In his autobiography, Brother to a Dragonfly, a friend asks for the Christian message in 10 words or less, and he responds in 8. We're all bastards, but God loves us anyways. Thanks.